Nominations and go from there.
Well, my name's on it. Oh, these were for the last meeting anyway. So
Oh, okay, you're good.
Okay, we're good. I get it now. I'm good.
I don't know if John's going to be here or not. I haven't heard from him.
I haven't seen. There's no girls' games tonight.
Right. Boys and girls play tomorrow.
Well, Devin said that because they play at Burris, JV plays at Burris, and he said the girls aren't playing.
Oh, the girls JV?
Yeah, so I don't know.
But I know varsity boys and varsity girls are playing Union here.
But I haven't heard from Devin since, for
Right.
tonight. Things could have changed at practice, the way things are. There's those if you want to sign those now. I'm going to go ahead and fill this out.
That's good. You always hear horror stories, but I never got a call either.
Ooh.
But it gets three people live. I hope they're not listening. But no, I know if I were ever on it, I would be. If they tried to get
Did we approve this?
based on what they
We approve that one?
Is Johnny coming? Johnny not coming. John.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard a word from him. So.
If not, I guess there's our secretary, right?
I can tell you that's been customary for the last 39 years.
Whoever doesn't show up.
In your absence, right to be voted in.
The one meeting you never miss is this one. You started
Do you remember talking about this?
Oh, we did the test when we did that thing, but I don't remember. What about the rest of them? Are the rest of them the same?
No, not the same term. That's what I was noticing. For some reason, I was thinking it was a little closer, but this is just starting 2020, so we're not even a year into it yet.
I came in at a good time because I bet the bond issues and that much construction would have been.
So
It would have been out of my pay grade. And then
I just
2 years later,
Yeah, I know.
Hey, John, your mic is on.
what's that?
Your mic is on.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
You must have made an impression.
I don't know. Sorry about that.
Okay. You still have the ability.
And then maybe I should have waited on.
No, we'll talk about it later.
Because normally I pay attention. I just, since they said we were already. But it's okay.
All right, I'm showing it is 7 o'clock. Go ahead and call the January meeting to order. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'll go ahead and get it started. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let's see if that's... That is John.
That was for two.
All right, so I'll turn it over to Mr. Kreider for the beginning of the reorganization.
The school attorney president, who would then carry on the rest of the meeting and the rest of the year.
Nominate John Madison for president.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Any other nominations? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm the only one dumb enough to do it, I think. Well, I appreciate it. I enjoy doing it and try to do a good job, so we'll try to keep that up. Next, take nominations for vice president. Rock, paper, scissors.
I nominate Brian Coon. Oh, sorry.
What's that?
Strike that. I'll nominate John Cross.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion and a second. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, all those in favor of John Cross serving as vice president signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And secretary, nominations for secretary.
This board has a long and storied history of the new person being the secretary. So I nominate Carla Bryant for secretary. In respect to that long and storied history.
I second.
She looked thrilled with the nomination, didn't she?
I'm ready.
All right.
Knew you would be.
All right. Any other nominations? I assume not, but open the floor. Seeing none, all those in favor of Carla Bryant serving as our secretary signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? All right, next is determination of date and time of the board meeting. That's resolution 2021-1-5.
Move we hold board meetings the second Monday of the month at 7 o'clock here in the superintendent's office.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second to adopt that resolution. I know I've seen it. There it is. Second Monday of each month here at the admin office. Lost my train of thought. We got a motion and a second, correct?
Yep.
All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor of adopting resolution 2021-1-5 establishing our date and time for board meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, appointment of legal counsel, board secretary, and board treasurer. That's 2021-1-6. Resolution reads that we will appoint Hayes Copenhaver Kreider Harvey as our general counsel, Stephanie Morgan as our corporation secretary, and Kim Riley as our corporation treasurer. Is there a motion with regard to that resolution?
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of adopting resolution 2021-1-6 as written signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so we are reorganized. Approval of the agenda. I did notice there are a couple additions on your, in your packet there. And we'll get to those, but a second reading of a policy and a field trip. So, any other changes to the agenda before we move forward? Okay, approval of the minutes. Minutes are in your packet. December 14th, I had an executive session and then a regular meeting. Minutes are in there. Any additions or corrections to the minutes?
Like the same meeting I attended, so I move we accept the minutes as proposed. Second.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of approving the minutes of our December 14th meetings signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes will stand approved. Board president's comments, we made it to 2021, so I think that's a good thing, I think. I'm not gonna say 2021 can't be worse than 2020, because it might, but thanks to everyone for all their efforts to get us this far with all the challenges we've had. Much of our year being, online and COVID and all those changes. I know it's been a big effort, but it's appreciated, and we'll do everything we can to try to keep things moving forward in a positive direction. Mr. Crevison, superintendent's comments.
I'll second that. We've done a pretty good job. If you take a look at our scale, you take a look at the things that we've done and total cooperation that we got really from every teacher, from the association, administrative team put a lot of time into it. It seems like as things have changed, we've been able to bounce back a little quicker from other schools. And some other schools have made some things a little more complicated. And we were well into, this doesn't feel like it, but we're into another year. It seems like it's still fall in some cases, but a lot of good stuff going on. We enroll kids today in our school. So we still look like an attractive school to people in the community. We're doing things that look like real school. And I'll give more kudos later to the IT department, but it's been pretty seamless in terms of getting the technology to work. We've done it for a few years now, and it's been pretty simple. So the classroom teachers, the administrators, the IT people, all the people we have a lot of new people too on the staff that just jump right in, and it's been much smoother than I think any of us would have imagined. So everyone who had a hand in that has contributed something to make it work better, and I think we're doing things pretty well. Let me add to the construction. Roof is done. High school roof is finished, and I think you heard me said earlier, the very evidence of that is they removed their porta potty. So they've taken everything from the supplies to the back to the fork truck to a million cardboard boxes and all kinds of stuff related to that. It's done, and so it was a big project, and sometimes you look over there and it wouldn't seem like a lot's going on. You look 2 seconds later and there's 50 people up there. But it's a good quality product. It's warranted, and it'll serve us for a long time. We have quite a bit of work going on currently in the elementary school. It's disruptive, but very positive. Lots of really good things. And I was kind of showing off some of my pictures. The Passion construction people, the matching of the brick from what you can get in the stock right now to the 3 different colored options that were used in 1977. It just amazes me that you would not hardly be able to tell that they've been just put in the last month. Flooring is up. We have I'll show you some of the pictures if you want to see it later. Running the wires for the PA systems, and Lori's done a very good job of really translating a lot of what the school's needs are going to be in the elementary. And Steve and Adam have also spent quite a bit of time working with the architects. The scale of the project in the high school is going to be somewhat different. It's configured differently, and it's just a bigger scope. But that'll be coming soon, and then eventually we'll be getting into this building. So it's in some cases moving along. We did have one of the key players. His mother-in-law died, and then we had another Passion employee kind of in a supervisor role. He just quit, but it hasn't really impacted too much. We'll have it done close to the end of the timeline that we had, and it's gonna look amazing. That's about all I've got.
One question, I guess, to follow up on the elementary. I guess Lori's not going to be here this evening, but I saw a post about a temporary teaching position because of enrollment growth.
Yeah, we're getting increased enrollment, and it comes in 6th grade, which it always seems to. We were overloaded in 6th grade, so we're looking for a temporary division into 3 sections and looking for a teacher to work it. Yeah, and we're still getting. We got some just recently as we talked. Other enrolling students coming back or coming for the first time. So it seems to always be 6th grade when there's growth, but it's positive.
Good. Anything you can point to that is specifically attributed to? Think something we're doing different than somebody else, or just a fluke thing, or?
No, you may have some. It's happening in the elementary office, so I get the information, but I haven't talked directly to any of them. If you have any kind of input.
We enrolled 5 new ones today, 2 6th graders, 2 3rd graders, and a kindergartner. They have bought homes in Blue River School District, but they were transporting their children to the other schools. And the transportation they were just tired of, but they also are not happy with the other schools' e-learning or virtual learning. So that was the first question I got was, when are you going to go back to in-person? I said, someday. As of right now, it is the 19th, and we hope it is, but we can't promise. And I said, but I will say on our virtual learning, our teachers are very good about connecting. If kids struggle, they will email them, they will do Zoom meetings, they try to get to them, and so the parents were very pleased today.
Good. That's wonderful. 5 in a day. That's if you get 5 tomorrow, then that's, all right. CTA. Anything there?
The biggest thing has been discussion of the school calendar, which I know you guys will address later. We've actually had more discussion this year with the calendar than ever in my 20 years that I can remember. But I think it was handled really well. The discussion team went through it. We discussed it with the admin. We kind of took all the ideas and they put them into 2 different calendars that the teachers voted on. And that's the one you guys have tonight. So that's what we've been busy with lately.
Okay, good. Elementary report. I know Lori's not here. Is there anything?
Other than the renovation, I
Okay.
don't think.
All right. High school report. We got Adam and Steve.
I'll just address the athletic position, positives. Like you said earlier, we made it to 2021. We're still playing. We're still competing. And I don't know, 6 months ago, I would have thought we would have been. So that is awesome. We do have some pretty strict COVID guidelines that people are having a hard time dealing with. When you can only let parents and their siblings of the same household in, it gets difficult. I've had to turn away a couple grandmas and grandpas at the gate, and that's not fun. And I think they understood that it was not my rule, and there was nothing against me, but they didn't like it. Okay, I said I'm sorry. So that's kind of tough on our patrons. Cutting way down on our revenues, obviously, and being somewhat self-sufficient in the school. I'm hoping that I've been frugal enough that we're going to make it. So another positive thing, our streaming cameras are up and functioning. Any home event will now be streamed online. It's the NFHS network. It does cost $10.99 for a month's subscription, but you can watch as many games as you like in either gym, auxiliary or main gym. So junior high, high school, both. It wouldn't pay you to do this now, but next year it's $69.99 for the whole year worth subscription. Not only that, you could actually watch other schools and watch us play at other schools that have the same system. Cowan, Shenandoah, us, the ones that I know of right here close that are doing the same systems that we have. So I think that's huge. We'll be able to broadcast graduation for those alumni that can't make it or want to watch. I think that'll be, it's not just for athletics, although obviously it's main thing, but we can do a lot of different things with it, so I'm looking forward to that. We've also, in doing this, we were able to put our one monitor above the concession stand. Now we can stream the ball game so people, while they're standing in line as concessions, they can watch the ball game and not feel like they have to rush or they get mad or whatever. So thanks to Sammy hung another one in the auxiliary gym concession, so we'll have that up and running pretty soon too for the auxiliary gym. So I think those are some very positive things that are going on. And I did have one Facebook post, somebody said they couldn't believe they had to pay for this, and I'm like, well, it was only $10.99 for a whole month's worth, so you can't please everybody, but I think it's very positive, and the quality is unbelievable. It'll look just like a game. It'll have the score on the bottom and the clock, so you can watch it. Now in the junior high gym, we're having a little issue there because the red grate book that protects it reads that red on there, so I think we're going to have to get up there and maybe paint that black and see if that works, because it throws the score off, because a 1 sometimes could be a 7, so it's 70-2 between us, and we kind of, but at least they're seeing the action and they can tell, so it's awesome. Girls basketball is coming to an end.
currently we have the #1 ranked team in the state. That's pretty awesome. They're 13-2. They lost to Shenandoah the other night in the county, but they had beat them previously. And the other loss was to Rushville, and that was without 3 of our players. So they're doing a great job. They should, knock on wood, complete and be the MEC champions this year. So that's going to be awesome. Boys are competing hard. They're 6-5. They fought hard the other night against Shenandoah in the county final. They only lost by 12, compared to I think they lost by 20 or so earlier in the year. So that's good. Senior night will be this coming Friday. We tried to do it earlier, it just didn't work. Things happened. And right now, if I keep putting it off, we're not going to have one. So I know it's not going to be the optimal, can't get everybody there, but hopefully at least their parents and their siblings can be there. And we're going to try to make sure that they face the cameras so people can stream and watch it. So we hope that works out this Friday. Spring sports, I got the word from HSA today that they're going to go full steam ahead, try to get through spring this year. So that'll be the first spring sports we've had. Remember, we didn't have them last year, so that'll be interesting. Just kudos to Sam and his group. They're repainting the red and blue lines in around the gym and around the school. That's looking good, and replacing the ceiling tiles now that the roof is no longer an issue. And just another note that I like to, every chance I get, is get on EventLink, because you can get everything you need there. You can buy your spirit wear, all kinds of stuff right there. Register your athletes. So I keep pushing that to everybody. Get registered. When things change, and obviously they change a lot right now, if you're registered, you will get an instant alert. I mean, at that moment, either a text or an email. So I'm pushing that real hard. Make sure. That's it. So a lot of positive things going on, and I look forward to the spring.
Thank you. I'm excited about the streaming. That's a big thing. And Tri-High had something. I was able to watch the county at home, and that was really nice. Since it was limited attendance and everything. So glad we can do that as well.
The other commentators did a good job, I thought.
They did. Yeah.
I watched the Shenandoah try, and then the final. So.
Our cameras will have the capability of being able to tap in and have commentators if we were ever to get to that point. But right now, it's just by itself. We don't have to touch them. It follows. If you've seen it, it follows the action by itself. And it looks. It's really 2 cameras, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like 1 camera. So it's pretty neat.
Is it your goal in the days past COVID that you'll still be streaming events?
Oh, absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
that's your plan?
And, coaches can take their practices, so they can watch their practices to help analyze what goes on. There's a lot of different things that we can do for it. But yeah, absolutely, just keep it going. We don't make a whole lot of money on the subscriptions. It's 10% of $10.99 for the month and $20 on the $69.99 one. But we can sell advertising on the screen that we can get to keep. So, but I just think the positives to the community and the alumni that don't live here that want to tune in for a few games during the winter or volleyball in the fall, I just think it highly outweighs any. I don't think we'll lose much revenue in that direction, but I think it outweighs the positives outweigh the negatives. Absolutely, keep it going so that people feel like grandmas and grandpas that can't get out, the kids can help them figure it out on the computer if they need be, and they can watch it from home.
Is there any possible, do they have a package deal where you could pay for it to where you could make it free for the people? Because that's the complaint that I've heard from multiple people is they're not gonna pay $10.99 to watch 1 game. Other school people coming here.
Well, like I said, they don't have to just watch here. If they're coming here to watch it, okay, they're probably paying. If they're coming here with a person, they're paying $10 to get in anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but my question, I didn't know if us as Blue River School could give so much money, and then that makes it a free subscription to anybody to
That's
watch,
how
like
they're
if you
making
did
their
it-
money on it.
If you did it with the boosters or something like that.
That's how they make their money, is that subscription. We can't do anything like that. You know,
Actually,
I should have mentioned also that, thank you to the Henry County hospitals. They paid for that installation. Basically, the cameras were free, and then each one of those cameras was $5,000 a piece.
Ooh.
In each gym. And it was $4,000 to install it. So, it just cost, and they were nice enough to pay that whole $4,000. So that's awesome, and they're gonna put little commercials in and stuff for it, but that's awesome that they did that. So therefore, the company, that's how they make their money in a 5-year contract to make that back. And they take, if anything goes wrong, they come take care of it.
so on the cost, I said on the cost, let them know that, so during the holiday, most schools around it went to $6 a ticket.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
and a few of them went to online ticket sales only, which charges you 10% on top of that. So when we did the holiday tournament in Union City, you got one game. You paid, you had a certain time you could be there, couldn't go in before 30 minutes before, and you had to leave immediately after. You got one game. It was $14.53 for 2 people each time.
Right.
So it's still cheaper.
I think, you know, it's a cost, but like I said, if you bring your spouse to a game,
Yeah.
that's $10, and you can stay at home and watch it, you can have each your own
With the
popcorn.
beverage of choice, a high school game with the beverage of choice. You know,
And like I said, too,
lemonade,
if we go play at Shenandoah, you should be able to log on there and watch the game there as well, not just at our place, so.
You know, that might be something good to do though, is to maybe send out an email or however you communicate with anybody, just to say, with this service, here's the local schools that have it where you can watch.
Yeah, once I figure out how many, so many
Yeah.
schools are now.
Well, I mean, just even local.
Cowan's just now getting theirs up to they called me today, and Shenandoah's done.
Or maybe after that, cause it'd be a
Right.
future selling point, I think.
Yep.
All right.
Kind of start off with, I'd like to expand a little bit on a few things that already been said. You asked if there was something that we thought was actually bringing in the kids. I think it's honestly the fact that we have been able to stay open, and it's our communication. My son's playing basketball, so it kind of takes us all over the place. And I've heard so many parents complaining about their schools. We played last night, and as I was walking out, this woman was just irate because her school had just canceled for this week, and they told them at 6 o'clock at night. And I honestly kind of agreed with the woman. I'm like, you know, I know we're living in unprecedented times, but people still have to work, people still have to be able to take care of their families, and I feel like our communication with our stakeholders has been exceptional well. I feel like we've been well received. Even the surveys and things that I've sent out from teachers to students have all kind of agreed that they do not like the virtual learning, and they are very happy that Blue River has done everything in their power to stay open. The kids now that have done the virtual for a week, that's the number one thing they want. They want to be back, they want to be with their teachers, they want to be with their peers. Everyone, like, I'd ask the question, what can we do to make this better? Nothing. I think they're doing a good job, but I really want to get back to the classroom. And it was just repeated over and over and over again. So I do believe what we are doing in the classroom is making a difference. I do believe the word is getting out that Blue River is communicating with their parents. Blue River is open, and there we are allowing kids to actually come in and work. And so I could see that being a driving force to bring people here. The other thing, before I get in my pack, and I apologize, is I would like to echo the camera system is really, really cool. Like, it really felt like I was like Lucas Oil Stadium with like the game going on with the concession stand, with the score going across the bottom. Like, it's got a very ESPN kind of feel to it. It's sharp. Lastly, I'd like to apologize to everybody here. My previous school, I did not go to school board meetings unless something bad had happened. That was kind of the rule. It was if I had to go, it meant something had gone wrong, and I was there to explain why it went wrong and my feelings with it. So I kind of, you know, they say when you assume, I came in with the assumption that I was not supposed to be here. So I do apologize that I have not been to the previous ones. I do have several things that I've been working on that are pretty cool that I'd like to share with you.
Well, it's that too, that you moved your household and were a house search.
Which
We
is
were all aware of
private.
that as well. So I don't think anyone would say that, you're gonna pass up, your next home.
Which I can, yeah, happily say, it did sell Friday. I'm
Good deal.
no longer under that house, which, I didn't even care about paying the double mortgage and the double gas and all that. I was in living fear that a pipe was going to burst and have no idea it literally was gonna fill the home before anybody even knows I'm ready and shooting out the windows. So, earlier last month, I was contacted, John, I think you're the only one that was in the interview, but the reason I became a teacher was my art teacher. He was hugely influential. He ended up becoming an assistant principal and then moving to K-14 at IU. And our paths have actually kind of followed all the way alongside and kind of, I've been in meetings with him at the state level, which is nice. I've known him since I was 14. He contacted me about a little less than a month ago and said that IU had been granted this award through Lilly. There was a $500,000 grant. He said the $500,000 turned into $5 million. The $5 million turned into $10 million. And what he wanted to do was he wanted to find a school to partner with to basically utilize this. He knew me, he knows my work history, and wanted to know if I would want to partner with him. When somebody offers you, says that wants to partner with you with a $10 million grant backing it, you just kind of smile and say yes, and figure out where it goes. So, Blue River will be working with IU to create micro-credentials through AI-driven infused instruction. It's a very cool program. I sent a copy of it up here if you guys want to read more about it. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I know any one of these words or all these words, but it sounds very exciting, and it also sounds like that second sheet of paper that I do truly believe in that kids need to have when they graduate is the second sheet of paper saying that they're credentialed in something else, and I feel like this is going to lend itself very well to that. The other thing I've been working with is Ivy Tech. I've joined the Ivy Tech Art, Science, and Education Advisory Board. The reason I did this is not to just give up one more evening a month to sit on the board, but it's the idea of proximity. I want to be as close to them as possible, so when there are opportunities, I like to be the person that's standing right there saying, well, I know a school that would be happy to help with this, or a school that would like to try more with this. One of the things that I was trying to work with at Crothersville is a program called ASAP, and it's basically an associate's degree in a year. We were already offering an associate's degree in 2 years. Now, the ASAP program is going to be tough because it is a grueling 10-month program, but I don't see any reason why we can't still offer it and have specific areas of fields of study in. I met with Bonnie, who's a very sweet woman, through Ivy Tech, to talk to her about it. She pushes the STGEC, which is the 1 year of college paid for and be done with. The reason I don't like the STGEC is for 2 reasons. One, you graduate, you leave here, you go to a business, and you say, I have an STGEC. The first question they're going to ask, what the crap is an STGEC and why do I care? The associate's degree, even if they don't go to a 4-year degree, they still have a finalized end date degree. I got kind of let into it. The other reason is they actually have a degree when they leave. When she told me that, I wasn't really getting anywhere. Again, I don't have anything wrong with her. She's a wonderful woman. I did get a hold of their chancellor and the dean, and I got to get to him and showed him the classes that we offered and what we might be able to do, and he agreed with me and thought that we should be able to offer an associate's. His view, which was even better than mine, was to expand it and try to partner it with the Career Center and be able to have an associate's degree with a specialization in both. Have an associate degree with a specialization in veterinary sciences. Just different areas to be able to have those dual credits kind of line up. Here we could partner with agriculture, we could partner with computer science, and be able to hopefully meld those degrees together to actually have an associate's that's more specialized rather than just having the general degree associate's degree. I think I'm talking really fast. If I am, tell me to shut up or slow down. I won't be offended. Okay. I also sent up a Blue River Valley High School course curriculum guide. I did add some courses onto this. the Department of Workforce Development is still changing the CTE courses, the career technical education courses. They have not come out and told us exactly what that looks like. It's a pain, because this is right now when I should be setting the schedule for next year to be able to meet those requirements. I don't know what those requirements are yet. Last time I talked to Amy Jackson, or Mackenzie Jackson, sorry. As sad as it is, we have an Amy Jackson that ran CTE accredited, so I'm always gonna do that. She helped me with some of the junior high courses and what will be offered and will not, but I still don't know exactly what the course, ladder is gonna look like to get through those CTE. So that could change a little bit. So not every one of those courses is going to be offered, but those are kind of the courses we have that potentially offer. Now, kind of on the downer side, so I apologize, I'm trying to get to the good stuff first. I do have the retention policy. I don't think retention is not a popular idea. I get that. I understand that the data shows that usually when you retain a child, it's not very good for the child. But what I don't think the data shows is when you don't retain a child, that you keep just shoving them through because they're 13, now they should be this grade, they're 14, now they're this grade. I think not only sets the tone for high school for that kid, but I think it also sets the tone for everyone around them, that for 8 years they've watched somebody do absolutely nothing and keep moving on with them. And basically it kind of ruins the whole idea of like we're actually working hard to get the grades to learn the material. This year, I think exemplifies that. We've got some kids that have not done much to anything since last March. And if I think that I can take a kid that hasn't done anything since last March and put him in Algebra 1 or biology or English 9, we're basically setting that kid up to fail. There's no way that that kid's going to succeed. So what I'm hoping is I'm going to do one or two things tomorrow, if you guys approve this, is I'm either going to mail this out or I'm going to maybe grab somebody else and try to do some home visits to take it out to them, because I want to be able to explain to parents and the kid, if you start actually doing your work and you're getting grades and your grades come up, I'm completely fine with moving you on, if you're showing that you can do it. But if this attitude of zeros, 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 zeros continues, then they need to be in the class that they're still in. Know that that is a possibility, and it also tells the rest of the class that there is a benefit to working hard. I'm not redoing the same coursework that I should probably have to do if I hadn't done the coursework. You have any question about the retention policy, anything I said?
Let me ask, so you would be directing those conversations with upper elementary kids or even high school kids?
If I could extend it, because when I first wrote it, I'm not in charge of the elementary, but she did like the idea of having that. So that's why the retention policy is no longer 7 and 8, it is now K through 8, because she agreed with it as well, that if we get this idea early, that if you do not do what you're supposed to do, if you're not academically, emotionally ready to move on, then we're not just going to shove you on. I feel like we've kind of created a detriment to kids by shoving them and shoving them and shoving them. They get the freshman year, they do the same thing. But the freshman year, it writes the ship itself. You either get the credits or you don't. So I talked to a student and parent last week who on paper says he is a senior. By credit-wise, he's a sophomore. And to explain to both the parent and the kid says just because he's been in high school for 4 years does not mean he's going to graduate. He's got the credits of a sophomore. Now, one thing that my previous data management system, Harmony, would do, that PowerSchool I don't think does, or either I don't know how to do it, is it kept them in the grade level until the credits were there. So, like, when we do class meetings, you didn't go to the class, because you were 30 years there, doesn't mean you're going to the junior class meeting. You were going to the sophomore class meeting if you had sophomore credits. You were going to the freshman class meeting. Now, I didn't let it affect prom. And the reason I did that is because I feel like that punishes two people. You could have somebody that literally has done the right thing for 4 years and is going to graduate with honors, but if they're dating somebody that's a sophomore because of credits, you're punishing two people. So that was my previous role. I didn't usually let it affect prom. So if they were allowed to go, I still let them go, even if they were 4-year freshmen.
I'm thinking athletic eligibility, that would be a card they would play saying, I'm a junior, but you're making me go to the if I'm really a sophomore. That just kind of popped in my head when you said that.
Usually they failed that many, they're usually out of academic,
Yes, maybe
athletics
ineligible.
anyway.
Yes.
Trying to think if there was any other major hang-ups we had from it.
They would look at it like they were redshirted.
I did have a junior high student, that was his plan, and he told his mom that he wanted to be retained so he could be a bigger eighth grader when he played. And mom and I both said, well, he's not going to play if he's retained, and that was a mom choice, which I was glad, because I don't really know if I could really stop it if she wanted him to play. But she was like, I've let him know that, he can wish that all day long, it ain't gonna happen if he fails, he's not playing athletics. And honestly, he's one of the few that's now got A's and B's, and I took off the list of sending out the retention letter. So, sometimes fear helps a little. The other thing I have is the field trip. As of right now, she has 11 people, and I guess that's 10, they're supposed to have a second chaperone, which will move to $1,100. She's gonna turn it, reach out to see if 11, if it stays 11, if she can still keep it one chaperone, she's at $550. And from talking to Amy, I guess this is something that's a tradition, like that you guys have done this. So I do want you to know that there is 2 versions now, it's not just Indianapolis. Actually, there was 3, Amy and I talked about, it kind of mixed the second one. There was a virtual option, and then there was an on-location option, and then there was this hybrid option. I didn't like the hybrid option, I felt like it muddied the waters too much, so knowing who's gonna be where, when are they gonna be there. I feel like it's either, either you're gonna go and be there, or you're gonna do it virtually. So, we did discuss it and knock it down to the 2 options, which I feel like she was more comfortable with anyway, because as a teacher, you wanna offer everything to your students, but sometimes you're sitting in the back of your mind going, this is a logistical nightmare, trying to keep track of everything.
Okay, any questions before we consider the retention policy and the field trip? All right, if not, since these are the 2 items we've just touched on and it's on our additions to the agenda, we can go ahead and knock those out. So we got the second reading of policy 5211, the retention policy. So we did a first reading last month. So if somebody has an interest, I think we could suspend the rules and pass it without the formal second reading. Or we can read it the second time, that's up to you guys.
I thought we suspended the rules last meeting. And that's what the minutes said too. We suspended the rules and,
Thought we typically did.
adopted it last week, your last meeting.
Did we?
I was trying to thumb through these real quick.
But since the policy number wasn't correct, I didn't know if we wanted to.
And it's been modified, right? From-
Yeah, the
Modified
elementary,
for the number.
I think it
For
was
more
more
than that.
number, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's say we move with the new number and the amended grades for the, except
Oh,
for the
yeah.
retention policy. So it went to K through 8 instead of just now.
Can I amend his motion to also suspend the rules?
Yes. So we'll, got a motion to suspend the rules regarding policy, amended policy 5211. So, got a motion and a second? Okay. All right. All those in favor of suspending the rules and adopting policy 5211 as amended, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so that will stand approved. And then the field trip, you see that in your packet, March 7th through the 9th. And we heard a little bit about that. Advisors cost $555. Chaperones $555. Total not being requested is $1,100. Questions with regard to field trip request?
We accept the DPA request for field trip for $550 or potential for $1,100.
Got a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of approving the DPA field trip request as presented signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Before we move on, just, no way we can amend that to make it 1110, because we reached 555. So, I think it's not much, but we just amended to make it the amount requested.
Yeah. Everybody good with 1110? That's what the math adds up
Yeah.
to.
That is so much different.
So let the minutes reflect that it's up to $1,110. All right. Anything else, high school? Technology reports.
This month we were awesome and excited to have Mr. Brian Hoover join us as the new technology support specialist to replace my old job. I will say with having Brian with us, I've only had to show him things maybe one time and he's jumped right in and did it. I also will say I did work with Brian previously before I worked here, but when I had the very large committee crew, I had 2 people that I knew and 2 people I didn't, and after the last interview, every single person in the committee agreed that Brian was the best candidate. So it wasn't really my choice. I liked him and I think we worked well together and the committee agreed. So far it's gone really smooth. It's been a little bit of busy couple weeks just because of all the things and the teachers coming back, but we've made it by. I actually got contacted just today about getting, I haven't talked to him about this, but I got contacted today about getting a grant for some more hotspots. And I know that I've had maybe 2 or 3 parents recently reach out about wanting to get hotspots and we didn't have any available. And we've had one that's been messing up that we haven't had to send back in to get repaired. But hopefully maybe we can get some more of those to get that taken care of. We also have new teacher devices that are coming in for the elementary. And Sam let me know today they may have tried to deliver it after both of us were not here. So maybe hopefully they'll come normal business hours tomorrow. That way that we can get them set up for the teachers. Because it's going to be a huge thing that we can have for the teachers while we're doing virtual things, that they have a really good laptop to be reliable and trustworthy with. Plus they would also get extra monitors, and they'd be in the 21st century, the 22nd century, if we can be that far. So we're excited about it. If anybody's got any questions, I'm sure I've got a billion things going on and I can help you. I just don't have it all in my brain right now. So.
Okay. All right, well, welcome aboard, and we'll get to the personnel report here shortly and make it formal. Any questions for technology guys? Well, we greatly appreciate what you guys are doing. You're really, kind of making things go at this point with the structure that we've got. And I think back to, 5 years ago or whatever, and we would have been struggling to do much of anything in this environment. So appreciate the knowledge that you guys bring and keeping us going. Maintenance report, Sam.
Construction's moving along at a pretty decent pace, I feel. I mean, they've had a couple setbacks with COVID also. A couple electricians couldn't be here for 2 weeks, so that's kind of slowed us down a little bit. I mean, we expect that in construction. Right. So, the biggest thing, I've got about half of the LED wall pack lights on at the high school. I've still got 18 more to go, but I'll get them on eventually. We got 8 new pole lights put in, LEDs at the elementary Friday, so we're moving along there. Not for sure when Custom Electrical will be here to do the high school parking lot, because we're actually doubling the amounts of lights there. I felt it was too dark, just one light, so I'm doubling every light fixture there. We couldn't do that at the elementary. I didn't feel the concrete slabs was safe to do that weight-wise. So, but other than that, if you got any questions for me?
Fort Knox, Sam. I turned out of Hillsboro on the Viking Trail this morning for the first time, and literally I went, "What the heck?" I didn't say that, but is that up there? And it was them 2 lights on the one on the north drive, and you could see them from 200.
Yeah.
Or from 300.
Yeah, I had one complaint about that today.
When I pulled in, I mean, it blinded me a little bit. I gotta look down and kind of make the turn. Don't look up. Holy crap. But you can see them now.
You said you wanted to see him from space. He's a
All right, any questions for Sam? All right.
How's the heating and cooling going? I just heard high school's been cool, but
the elementary changeover is done. It's complete. Everything's up. Well, I shouldn't say everything's up and running. We have a couple units that's bad that we found out after we got the changeover done. there's some stuff that wasn't working that we didn't know. They started the changeover Monday at the high school. So hopefully by Monday it'll be complete and we'll be all up and running over there too. So there should be less problems at the high school, technically. That's what they tell me.
Any other questions? All right, we'll get to the boring part of our meeting, the consent agenda. Boring might be strong, maybe routine would be a better word, but 2021-1-1, the December 2020 financial report. Any questions on the financial report?
FEMA grant, what is it, the FEMA grant, how often is it? It's a pretty good sized chunk, so.
We have not actually submitted our first initial request. I know, just in talking with them and looking at that, there's some things we've charged there that they're not going to reimburse. It's an extremely in-depth reimbursement.
So are we thinking 10%, or are we thinking?
I don't know.
It's a big number. So.
I don't think it'll, and they can't tell me, they're just like, well, just submit it and we'll see what happens. But there's a lot of paperwork that goes to it, and I've just not made it all the way through all the paperwork yet.
So if the grant doesn't cover it, it comes out of our normal.
If the grant doesn't cover it, probably what I will recommend is we just transfer it to rainy day and pay those expenses out of the rainy day versus taking them out of, operations.
And with that amount currently, is that the year? Was that for the year?
That was.
Okay. That makes me feel a little bit.
And a lot of that is, we bought sprayers, we bought the cleaning supplies. I don't think we'll get any of that money back. The additional expenses we had to incur for that, I think that's just our cost. We're just going to pay for all of that. But I'm trying to think what all else we did buy. Most of it was maintenance.
Yeah, mostly would be paper towels and the sprayers. I mean, I've ordered 15 times the amount of paper towels I've ever ordered.
And obviously sanitizer and soap and all of that. I'm hoping they won't give me any type of a commitment, but I'm hoping I can submit some of our nurse expenses to it. And that would just be a reimbursement to our education fund if we're allowed to do that. Because that cost is all out of education.
Any other questions on the financial report?
We accept resolution R 2021-1-1 as presented.
Second.
Motion and second. Anything else? All those in favor of adopting resolution 2021-1-1, the December financial report, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 2021-1-2, the claims report. And then you did notice, hopefully, there's a handful of other ones that came in late. Questions on the claims report?
I make a motion that we accept R-2021-1-2.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of adopting resolution 2021-1-2, the monthly claims report, as amended with the additions that were on your packet, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next is resolution 2021-1-3, which is the personnel report. Item number 1, we have resignation, non-certified staff member Chelsea Williams, special education paraprofessional, effective January 4th. And the hiring of Mr. Brian Hoover, IT assistant supervisor, effective January 4th, 2021. Motion with regard to resolution 2021-1-3.
Make a motion, we accept resolution 2021-1-3.
Second.
Motion and a second. Anything else before we vote? All those in favor of adopting the resolution 2021-1-3, the January personnel report as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Welcome aboard officially. All right, and then the transfer of funds.
Oh, I didn't know.
Was there a transfer of funds? Yeah.
Not seeing a resolution.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Resolution 456.
Well, 5 and 6 were the ones for the reorganization. 4, the transfer of funds, we didn't have that. While the copies are being made, I guess I can go ahead and go to old business. Disposal of the Mount Summit building. Not going as well as we hoped. Mr. Draper decided against pursuing things once he got a little more information about the potential cleanup of the asbestos. So we're kind of back to square one. I know Joel had indicated that Mr. I think it's Bauman, is that his name? Carl. Had previously withdrawn his offer, and haven't heard any new updates there. So we've unfortunately still got the building, and so we could potentially list it. That might generate some additional interest. I don't know. I can reach out, and Joel and I were talking about it, so I can reach out to him if anybody has any thoughts or knows anything. But obviously, we'd like to get rid of it, and in retrospect, should have just gave it away the first time, I guess, to the gentleman. But I thought it had some value, but apparently not. So.
Have you been able to look at any grants or something that you were looking at different things?
I haven't been able, with the holidays and everything, I didn't get a chance to do much with it, but I'll check into that and see if we can find a grant for cleanup, because if we could do that, then obviously the value would go up and people wouldn't be as nervous about it. So, especially if it was truly a grant, get it cleaned up and then sell it for something, then, I'll try to get on that this month here and see what I can find out. Any questions on that?
What is our alternatives, I guess, in the event? Do we have a timeline, and if we looked at cost to tear down? That's expensive, I know, but.
Yeah, we haven't. I've heard stories about cleanup, and I know Mike was interested in doing some things with it. And supposedly he had costed the demolition, and it was, 6 figures to get it demolished and carted off with the asbestos and doing that the right way, and then, taking it down to ground level. So, that's it's a big hit we don't want. I would love to get some housing there. The more I think about it, I think a barrier to us growing is just the availability of good housing in our district. Obviously our kids now don't have to live in the district, but it certainly helps. If you look at the, subdivision in Summit, that's helped out a lot, but there's really nothing else that I can think of comparable new type housing in our district. And if we could get something there,
Can't find a house right now.
right, exactly.
Housing prices are up about 20% over market right now.
So I don't know. I don't have any great answers on the building. But.
Is there any way to spark interest maybe with some developers for that, right? And see what they're willing to do, and if there's any funding from that side for, I don't want to say low income housing, but availability of housing in all in areas that we might be able to work with, the local government and all to be able to, again, we can get rid of the property, but they can get an incentive too to be able to build there.
Right.
Maybe it's a park there. It's a nice,
We
grew up.
Donated to Habitat for Humanity, see if they would take on the cost of their grant base, that they might actually wanna go out and fix it.
Well, that, or just, I'm talking even like, the apartments, like we talked about the ones there in Spiceland, as you drive through really nice looking, apartments and all, if there's a way to find a developer and then find some funding where it's, one, it benefits us by, no cost out of our pocket, but lucrative to them, to give them some incentive and help, support their basis for their business as well. Not just the cleanup side, but the building and.
Yeah, and I actually had the guy that built the Spiceland apartments that you're talking about. He looked at that building, and I would have been, he's a client, in full disclosure, but I would have been in favor of giving that to him if he would have committed to build, 8 townhomes or whatever he decided to do with it. And he was interested at first and then backed out. So I can try to see if he's willing to do anything or if we can help incentivize that.
Because there might be something from a cleanup perspective for property, I forget they're called brownfields or something.
Right.
For, business, but I mean from a,
Right.
there might be something the government does to help support that, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's worth a look, I guess.
All right, anything else on that? Okay, if not, we'll go back and pick up resolution 2021-1-4, which was just passed out. This is our kind of standard monthly resolution. This month, proposing to transfer $67,985.42 from education to operations.
Move we accept resolution 2021-1-4.
Second.
Motion and a second. Anything else before we vote? All those in favor of adopting resolution 2021-1-4 as presented signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Move to approval of transfer students. So I think a couple in our packet. Motion with regard to them.
Move we accept the, January transfer request for the 2 students.
Second.
Okay. Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of approving the January 11th transfer list as presented signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next is the school calendar, resolution 2021-7. So we've got the school calendar, and Mr. Chernowski touched on that a little bit on behalf of the CTA. Mr. Grefson, any comments on the calendar, or anything we need to be aware of?
Who knows what's gonna happen?
That's fair.
I will say, I feel like we've always had a good relationship with the association, and I would say that the process of, what would technically be discussion was probably about the most democratic thing we've attempted, and, it worked well. It was a good collaboration. And credit to Mrs. King too, as well. She did quite a bit of the legwork.
All right, what's your pleasure with regard to the school calendar?
Move we accept resolution R 2021-1-7 as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. Anything else? All those in favor of adopting resolution 2021-1-7, the proposed school calendar for 2021-2022, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that resolution will stand approved. Next is the approval of 2020 appropriation transfers, which I think is somewhat of a routine process. I assume this is just to close up 2020, make sure everything ties out, and
There's a lot in the education fund. We kept changing what we were supposed to charge things to after we had created the budget and everything. So we were trying to make the charges to the correct places, but obviously when you built your budget and it's not there, then that account will be in the negative. So that's basically just a covering the negative.
It's still within the same fund, just
Still-
changing it to a
it's
different
all within the same
subhead.
fund. Yes, yes.
so housekeeping issue really.
Just clear.
Motion to approve these transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions? If If not, all those in favor of approving the 2020 appropriation transfers as presented signify by saying aye. All those opposed. Anything that we've missed tonight or any new business that we need to address? All right, seeing none, thank you again. Welcome to 2021 and appreciate all your efforts. And we'll adjourn, but we do have a Board of Finance meeting, and it'll be a barn burner. You might want to stick around, so. No extra charge.
Can we stream it?
Maybe.
Do we have a president of Board of Finance right now, or is it vacant?
We need to, it was Mike.
It was Mike, and you we never officially made you that, so yeah, it's been vacant for a few months, hasn't it?
So we gotta elect that person.
I guess it's down here that John calls it to order.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Do you wanna stream the second part? Do you wanna keep it streaming or?
Poor guy just lost the second Monday of every month.
Fair except for football.
Yeah.
Do you wanna stream the second part of this? Or do you wanna end it?
Is there any obligation we need to stream it or make it public? Okay. Now let's turn it off. Nobody in the right mind's going to voluntarily watch it.
Do we need to do
I mean, I'm
something?
just being honest. I'm sorry.
Live right now.
Our oath?
Oh, yeah.
They need to do their oath. Cause this is the first meeting from their election.
Yeah.
Missed that completely. My apologies. Well, yeah, if you wanna.
And I already signed my two. Cause one goes with you.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
take
finish
it?
it out and I'll file them tomorrow.
I don't think I have one. Well, I know I don't have one with me.